In the world of modern technology, the competition between nations for dominance is ever intensifying. One of the most significant battlegrounds in this global contest is the semiconductor industry. Recently, Huawei's remarkable progress in chip design and manufacturing has been celebrated as a victory for China in the ongoing US-China chip war. But what about the US efforts to restrict China's access to critical technologies? The US-China chip war has been ongoing for several years, characterized by strategic moves and countermoves as both nations seek to gain the upper hand in the global tech arena. The United States, a longtime leader in semiconductor technology, has made efforts to hinder China's progress in this critical sector. They aim to curtail China's access to vital technologies and thereby maintain their advantage in the industry. But things have changed for the US. Huawei, the Chinese telecommunications giant, made headlines with its recent breakthrough in chip design and manufacturing. The introduction of a 7nm chip in Huawei's new smartphone is an example of their substantial progress in this field. This significant achievement aligns with China's ambition to become a semiconductor powerhouse. It has left experts and observers in both China and the US pondering the effect of this achievement. Huawei's success in developing advanced chips has raised concerns in the United States. Some believe that Beijing might use this progress to avoid the restrictions that the US has imposed. There are already discussions about the need for more restrictions on Huawei and other Chinese entities, particularly because some American legislators suspect that the Chinese chipmaker may have violated US sanctions by using US equipment to produce chips for Huawei. This alleged violation has only intensified the US-China chip war, as they come with no proof. Additionally, several Taiwanese technology companies have come under light for their involvement in helping Huawei build infrastructure for an under-the-radar network of chip plants across southern China. This cooperation between Taiwanese firms and Huawei adds another layer of complexity to the US-China chip war. However, after much investigation, it was concluded that Huawei made the achievements on its own. Huawei has been working on achieving self-sufficiency for years, and this achievement tells Huawei has achieved it. Huawei's chip breakthrough, while celebrated in China, does not mark the end of the US-China chip war. Instead, it is a significant milestone in a long and complex struggle between these two global powers. The ongoing competition will continue to have widespread economic ramifications, influencing global technology markets and geopolitical dynamics. It's because the US never gets tired of sanctions, and as Foreign Policy wrote, the US obsession with sanctions will be its downfall. The US government has taken a series of measures to restrict Chinese access to critical technologies, with a particular focus on the semiconductor industry. The objective is to limit China's technological advancement in this sector, which is crucial for powering a wide range of electronic devices, from smartphones to computers and even advanced defense systems. One of the primary tools the US has employed is export controls on certain advanced technologies. These controls are designed to prevent the transfer of sensitive technology to China, aiming at slowing its progress in developing cutting-edge semiconductor products. The US Department of Commerce has imposed sanctions on various Chinese entities, including the Semiconductor Manufacturing International Corporation (SMIC), which is one of China's largest semiconductor manufacturers. In response to the US's efforts to curb its technological advancements, China has invested heavily in developing its semiconductor industry. Chinese entities like Huawei and SMIC have made substantial strides in chip design and manufacturing, bringing them closer to achieving technological self-reliance. Huawei's breakthrough with the 7nm chip, a marvel of semiconductor engineering, is an example of China's progress in this field. If Huawei didn't use US-made chips, what concerns the US about this recent achievement? The success of Huawei's 7nm chip and China's growing capabilities in the semiconductor industry have raised concerns among policymakers in the United States. They fear that Huawei's progress could be a stepping stone for China to bypass the restrictions imposed by the US. They say that Huawei might have violated US sanctions by using American equipment to produce chips for their products. But in reality, they are hiding their real fear. Saying that Huawei has used the US's tech is done to undermine China's efforts. As Chinese companies find alternative routes to win the tech war, the US is only scared. The US recently said it will impose more sanctions to stop China from getting US technology. Policymakers and legislators are under pressure to safeguard American technological leadership and national security interests. And Biden is under pressure to keep the US a leading nation in tech. The battle over technological supremacy between these two global giants will persist, with each side making strategic moves to outsmart the other. But as we discussed, there is a claim that China got some help from Taiwan. So is it true? The involvement of Taiwanese technology companies in assisting Huawei's expansion has added another layer of complexity to the US-China chip war. Taiwan is a democratic island nation that has long been a focal point of tension between the US and China. The island's government has been at odds with Beijing's ambitions to reunify Taiwan with the mainland under the One China policy. Taiwan's technology sector plays a crucial role in the global semiconductor industry. It is home to companies like TSMC Taiwan, semiconductor manufacturing company, one of the world's largest semiconductor foundries. TSMC is a vital link in the global semiconductor supply chain, manufacturing chips for a wide range of companies, including those in the United States. The news that Taiwanese technology firms are assisting Huawei in building infrastructure for chip production in southern China is a matter of concern for several reasons. First, it raises questions about whether these firms are potentially violating export controls or sanctions imposed by the US. The US has made Taiwan stop working with China as well. If this comes to you as a surprise, then don't be surprised. There is more to it. If Taiwan is helping China, it adds a layer of complexity to the already tense relationship between the US and Taiwan, given the island's strategic importance in the semiconductor industry. The US thinks Taiwan has ditched the US. The United States has maintained unofficial relations with Taiwan for many years, including arms sales and support for Taiwan's international participation. This relationship is rooted in the Taiwan Relations Act, which was passed by the U.S. Congress in 1979. The act commits the U.S. to provide defense articles and services to Taiwan, and has been a cornerstone of U.S.-Taiwan relations. With Taiwan's pivotal role in the global technology supply chain, the U.S. has an interest in ensuring that Taiwan remains under U.S. control. The involvement of Taiwanese technology firms in assisting Huawei's expansion raises questions about the potential impact on U.S.-Taiwan relations. The U.S. government may feel the need to monitor these firms more closely, potentially leading to restrictions on their activities or greater pressure on Taiwan to distance itself from sensitive technological cooperation with Chinese entities. Now, this makes China's statement about the U.S. controlling Taiwan correct. But at the end of the day, China has won the tech war, and it exposed many U.S.'s vulnerabilities.